Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to DCS World 2.7.17 and Aegis Engineering's Mirage F1CE. Today I'm going to take a quick initial look at this aircraft. This is actually one of the first times that I'm flying it, so it certainly won't be a tutorial, but it'll be a very quick overview of what this aircraft looks like and what it's like to start it up and take it up in the air. As you can see here, the external model is very nice indeed, and I'm not going to bother loading any weapons on the aircraft today. Also, as is the case with Aegis C101, there's some nice little touches to the model when you're on the ground as well. You can see here that the pilot's ladder is in place, the helmet is placed on the canopy rail, and we've got the chocks in, which is pretty damn cool. So let's jump into the cockpit. It's a little bit dark. I believe that this represents the colour used in the real aircraft. However, due to lighting in the sim, it does make things a little bit difficult to see, although I know that Aegis are working on improving this just now. So, without any further ado, let's get the aircraft started up. I'm going to turn on the battery. That gives us a whole load of warning lights illuminated down here. I'm going to enable my noisy noise, the warning horn, and I can then click the master caution up here to reset that and get rid of all the warnings. We're now going to go straight into an engine start so that we have internal power. Just going to check. Yeah, there you go. As soon as I turned on the battery, he put his helmet on, and the ladder and the chocks were removed. That's cool. So down here on the left hand side, we're going to turn on the main fuel cock and then cover it. We're going to turn on left and right fuel pumps. We're going to open the engine starter cover, and that turns on the starter pump. We should then notice that the low pressure warning which was here has now gone out. With that low pressure warning out, we can push and hold the starter for more than 2 seconds. We should see that RPM will begin to climb. There it is. As it passes 300, we simply move our throttle forward and then back again, and that will put it into the ground idle position. And while that starts happening, let's go ahead and close the canopy. I should have actually done that first. So, canopy is closed and locked. And I'm waiting for the engine to settle at about 2,900, which it just did. Cool, alrighty. So, that's booted up nicely. We can now close the cover, and we can leave the starter pump on. It acts as a backup pump. Let's go over here, and we're going to go ahead and... Oh, actually, no, don't do that yet. I want to reset the inverter, which I've done now. We're going to reset our control servos, and that should get rid of a whole load of the warning lights. And now we're going to turn on the remaining systems here. We should, in a moment, get the gyros up and running. Actually, let's switch that to GM and enable the secondary system, and then you'll see that all of the artificial horizon and the HSI and so on will start to align themselves. So that's working nicely. We're going to open the valve for the bleed air system there. What other things do we want? Turn on the VOR, turn on the TACAN, so that's ready to go. Set this course setting system to TACAN, because that's the thing we're most likely to use today. Actually, speaking of which, what is our local TACAN? We've got a TACAN... Okay, we don't have a TACAN here. Okay, fair enough. We do have a VOR though. 116.7, so I guess we could just put that in. That will at least give us something to work with. There we go. Nice. Wondering, how do we make that a bit quieter? I'm guessing audio is over here somewhere. Yep, there we go. VOR. Let's turn it down a bit, otherwise it's going to annoy us. Cool. Okay, so we're now going to switch hydraulic pressure to that position. I don't know why, but for some reason that's what the the startup thing tells us to do. Shock cone pushed in for automatic as well. I think that's correct. We're going to uncage the artificial horizon there. We should also turn on our HUD, put our radar into standby, and I think at that point, everything is basically ready to go. Let's put the flaps full down for takeoff. And, oh yeah, I don't have any of my radios turned on. Let's turn on that radio, and let's turn on this radio. I think at that stage we are pretty much done. Yep, quick scan, everything looks pretty normal. I'm actually going to turn that VOR all the way off. And see, which mode do I want the HSI in? Does that give me the correct mode? Give me something. Okay, I actually don't know which of these modes I'm supposed to be using. So anyway, we'll forget about that for now. So with all of that done, let's release the parking brake and let's get taxiing. And where is it we want to actually go here? A right turn onto the runway? Yeah, right turn onto the... Perfect, we're actually right in the middle of this airfield. Righty-ho, let's get going. A little bit of throttle should get us rolling. There we go. And we need to be very gentle with the nose wheel steering. It can be quite sensitive. So really happy to see this aircraft. This is an interesting aircraft in any case, and Urgis, you know, I was really impressed with what they did with the C-101. I thought that was a very, very nice aircraft, especially given that it was their very first. So they've clearly put a lot of what they've learned from the C-101 into this aircraft. And this is a very different beast. Very interesting period as well. The aircraft has no INS, this version of the aircraft at least. And a lot of the kind of weapons delivery mechanisms are pretty old school. There's a lot of basically using Z-sleds and mill tables and things like that to get your weapons on target, but ultimately very rewarding. And yeah, full TACAN and VOR navigation. It has a fairly advanced radio navigation suite in the aircraft, which is really cool to see. Let's switch this mode, because I'm guessing I've got that wrong. Yeah, I really don't know. I haven't actually done any of the training on the radio navigation system, so I've almost certainly got it set up wrong. But we'll visually navigate for today. I'm mostly just interested in getting the aircraft in the air and seeing how it handles. It has a pretty powerful engine. We should have no problem achieving quite impressive speeds with this one. And I'm not going to take the full length of the runway, actually. I'm going to take Charlie taxiway here, because I do not think we need the full length to get this bird in the air. Careful as we negotiate that turn. And last time I did a takeoff, I've only done a couple of takeoffs in this aircraft just to get ready for the video. I turned off the nose wheel steering because I was worried about its sensitivity as I start going down the runway, but this time I'm going to try leaving it on and see what happens. Okay, full throttle, and we'll wait for the afterburner to light. There we go, we've got afterburner. Speed's alive. We're very light today, no external ordnance. Gonna rotate about now. There we go, get the nose up. Gear up. And let's get those flaps up as well. I like that all of the indicators are right here. You know, they're right in front of your face when you're flying. Oh, mission completed, congratulations. Okay, and with all of those lights out, we now have the aircraft clean. Just gonna get it nicely trimmed now. Okay. That's us airborne. This is the South Atlantic map, by the way. Right. Speed's coming up. 400 knots. Let's see if we can go right over the top here. So we've got that tone when we've pulled quite a high angle of attack, so I'm going to be a bit more gentle there. I guess I'm going to hear that a lot if I maneuver hard. There we go. Cool. And that's us outbound east now. Yeah, I really like that color-coded angle of attack display on the left-hand side. That's pretty cool. Roll rate, quite impressive, although it very quickly gets out of control. I almost I almost departed there just by rolling it. Let's see if we can get it stabilized again. Let's see what the autopilot is like. Let's go... Oh, okay. Autopilot is not working. There's probably some step in the startup that I've missed. Because these should be the autopilot controls. Oh well, we'll not worry too much about that. Yeah, cockpit setup seems fairly normal. Okay, and that's us approaching Mach 1 now. Let's see how it handles as it passes the speed of sound. And that's us supersonic. We're in a very clean configuration here. Starting to dive just a little bit, so it clearly has just a touch of Mach tuck. That's okay though. There we go. Okay. I think I've got it basically trimmed there. Very fast. Very, very fast indeed. Cool, okay, let's pull the throttle out of afterburner there and see what it does. I thought I pulled the throttle back. Oh, there we go, that's it, out of afterburner. There was a bit of a kind of jolt as I lost the afterburner there. That's us back in mil power. Let's come back around and see if we can make our way to land back at that airfield again. Ooh, yeah, we're pulling some G's there. Let's roll it out going this way. And start to descend. Oh, 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 oh. Had a warning light for a moment there. I don't know what that was. And it's flashed a couple of times more. So, you know, no fly-by-wire. You've got to be careful with this aircraft. You can't just throw it around. You can see that for roll control, we have a combination of ailerons and spoilers. Kind of like an airliner, actually, which is pretty cool. That's good to see. I think sometimes if I'm pulling too much negative G there, I'm getting a momentary warning. It's fine. Let's see, we make our way back to Rio Gallegos. I think it should basically be on the nose here. Yes, actually it's right on the nose there. So let's throttle all the way back and let's get the air brake. Now the thing is, I actually haven't set the air brake. Very foolish of me. Let's very quickly do that. On. And air brake off. So, pop out the air brakes. There we go. That should help us get slowed down. That's us around about the speed of sound. So yeah, it's quite a slippery aircraft. It really does not want to slow down. I'm going to do left-hand turns and join the base here. There we go. There we go. And let's bring those air brakes back in. Okay, excellent. Air brakes are back in. Let's let the speed bleed off a little bit more. Actually, let's continue to use air brakes here. As we're coming down. This will be my very first attempt at landing this thing, so no guarantees that this is going to go well. Let's go first stage of flap, and also let's go gear down. Let's bring the air brakes back in, and bring the throttle up just a touch. Got a lot of beeping going on now. I'm not really sure what that's about. Maybe we're too fast. Light went out. Limit warning. Okay, yeah, so that's almost certainly what the problem was. I was probably too fast. Right, let's go full flaps now. And that should help us get this thing on the ground. And we're about circuit altitude here. And I'm going to try and fly on angle of attack once I'm lined up. Yeah, I think we're probably at about the right distance now. Let's start coming around. And I'm going to let the speed continue to come off. I'm going to assume that I want to fly and approach at about 160 knots, but I don't actually know. Oh, yeah. Getting quite high on the angle of attack. Just increasing the throttle. There we go, I'm in the green arc again. Spool time on the engine is actually pretty good, so I'm not too worried about it needing time to spool up and spool down. That's actually quite responsive. Oh, I've completely messed up my lineup. This is not going to work. Yeah, I've got no chance of landing it like this. So, let's do a go-around. We're going to lose a stage of flaps, and we're going to bring the gear back. There we go. That's going to make it nice and easy to deal with. And then let's come right back around right now. See if we can make this work. I normally fly in VR, so I find flying in 2D like this actually very difficult. Because I can't really see where anything is, or judge the position of things. But yeah, anyway, we're back in the downwind. Let's see if we can make this work. So we're going to go gear down again, and full flaps. The system is going to complain at us again because we're too fast. Really nicely modelled undercarriage there, and quite an unusual style of undercarriage too. Okay, this time I'm going to continue a bit further downwind. And I'm actually going to make a slightly tighter turn to come around. Yeah, that's us right on the maximum angle of attack. Let's bring up the throttle. Try to deal with that nicely. Get the alignment correct this time. Pull it out here and bring the throttle back. That's looking good. That's looking more like it. Speed is dropping quite fast. That's okay. Aircraft is light today. Oh no, I'm messing it up. I'm messing it up. See if we can do this. And we're down. Okay. And on the brakes. Ooh, this is definitely not correct technique. I can feel it. I can feel it. They're slaloming down the runway. I'm having to kind of repeatedly apply and then release the brakes. We're slowly getting it under control. There we go. And that is some kind of a landing. We made it. And yes, I think I should almost certainly have used the parachute, but hey, that was still a landing. Not brilliant, but we got it down. And on the parking brake. Excellent. So yes, definitely not any kind of a tutorial. Didn't entirely know what I was doing there, but I thought it'd be a bit of fun just to take the aircraft up, fly it around, and show you all what it looks like. Very impressive. Really, really happy with this one. Going to do a bit more flying with it, I think, and in the near future, I shall do a tutorial series on this one, because it's a really cool aircraft with quite a lot of different impressive capabilities. I hope that you all enjoyed that. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment. It's a really big help to me and to the channel, and I'll talk to you all later.